Before kingdoms, before religion, before written memory, Earth belonged only to storms, oceans, fire, and endless wilderness untouched by human ambition. Nearly 7 million years ago, small ape-like ancestors walked cautiously through African forests, unknowingly beginning humanity's long and violent journey toward civilization. These fragile creatures possessed no claws, no strength, and no protection except intelligence slowly awakening inside fearful primitive minds. The discovery of fire changed human destiny forever, transforming terrified scavengers into creatures capable of controlling darkness itself. As ice consumed continents, humans adapted with astonishing resilience, becoming hunters capable of surviving Earth's deadliest frozen landscapes. Deep inside hidden caves, early humans painted mysterious symbols and animals, leaving behind the first echoes of imagination and spiritual belief. For the first time in history, humans buried their dead carefully, suggesting the terrifying realization that life eventually ends for everyone. Human tribes slowly spread beyond Africa, crossing deserts, mountains, and frozen lands in search of survival and unknown futures. Humanity was never alone. Other intelligent human species once existed beside us before disappearing mysteriously into extinction. Gigantic creatures vanished from Earth as humans expanded rapidly, leaving historians questioning whether mankind triggered ancient ecological collapse. Around 12,000 years ago, humans abandoned endless wandering and began cultivating crops beside rivers and fertile valleys. Permanent settlements emerged slowly, creating the foundations of organized society, trade, leadership, and eventually civilization itself. As civilizations formed, humans searched desperately for meaning, inventing gods to explain storms, death, and the terrifying unknown universe. Leadership transformed into control as stronger individuals claimed authority, beginning humanity's endless cycle of rulers, empires, and obedience. From scattered villages and forgotten tribes emerged the first true civilizations, forever changing humanity's destiny through power, war, and ambition. In the harsh lands between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, humanity built the world's first true civilization from chaos, fear, and survival. The Sumerians created massive city-states where priests, kings, and merchants transformed human society into organized urban civilization for the first time. Human memory alone was no longer enough, forcing civilizations to carve words into clay and preserve knowledge permanently across generations. As populations expanded, rulers imposed written laws, controlling society through punishment, fear, justice, and a growing power of centralized authority. Towering ziggurats dominated Mesopotamian cities, connecting earthly rulers with powerful gods believed to control floods, harvests, and human fate. Far west of Mesopotamia, another civilization emerged beside the Nile River, protected by deserts and driven by divine kingship. Egyptian pharaohs declared themselves living gods, commanding absolute obedience while building monuments designed to outlive death itself. The pyramids remain among history's greatest mysteries, engineered with astonishing precision thousands of years before modern technology existed. Egyptians feared death deeply, believing the soul faced dangerous trials before entering eternity within the hidden world of the gods. While Egypt and Mesopotamia flourished, another advanced civilization quietly rose beside the Indus River with astonishing urban sophistication. Cities like Mohenjo-daro vanished mysteriously, leaving behind silent ruins that still challenge historians searching for forgotten truths. In East Asia, early Chinese dynasties formed powerful kingdoms shaped by warfare, ancestor worship, and strict social hierarchy. The Bronze Age revolutionized warfare forever, giving empires stronger weapons capable of conquering neighboring civilizations with terrifying efficiency. Long-distance trade routes connected civilizations for the first time, spreading wealth, disease, technology, and dangerous new ambitions across continents. By the end of the ancient Bronze Age, humanity had entered a new era dominated by empires hungry for conquest, control, and immortality. As ancient kingdoms expanded across continents, warfare evolved into organized conquest driven by ambition, fear, glory, and absolute political domination. Along the rocky coastlines of the Mediterranean, Greek city-states emerged as centers of philosophy, warfare, politics, and revolutionary human thought. Sparta transformed human discipline into a terrifying weapon, training boys from childhood to become ruthless warriors loyal only to the state. While Sparta embraced violence, Athens experimented with democracy, creating political systems that would influence civilizations thousands of years later. The Persian Empire stretched across vast territories, threatening to crush Greece beneath the unstoppable power of imperial expansion. At Thermopylae, a small Spartan force stood against overwhelming Persian numbers, becoming legends through sacrifice and impossible resistance. A young Macedonian king named Alexander conquered much of the known world before reaching the age of 32. Alexander's empire spread Greek culture across continents, blending civilizations together through language, science, philosophy, and military domination. Far west of Greece, a small republic beside the Tiber River quietly prepared to dominate the ancient world through discipline and conquest. Roman legions became history's most efficient war machine, conquering civilizations through organization, brutality, engineering, and relentless discipline. Rome entertained its population through bloodshed, turning violence into public spectacle inside enormous arenas crowded with cheering citizens. Within the vast Roman Empire, a small spiritual movement emerged quietly before transforming global history forever through faith and sacrifice. As Rome grew wealthier, corruption spread through politics and society, weakening the empire from within despite its enormous military power. Barbarian invasions, political instability, and economic collapse shattered the Western Roman Empire, ending one of history's greatest civilizations. After Rome's collapse, Europe descended into centuries of instability, fear, and forgotten knowledge, later remembered as the Dark Ages. After Rome's destruction, fragmented kingdoms emerged across Europe, struggling to survive among violence, famine, plague, and endless political instability. As kings fought for territory, Christianity spread rapidly, becoming Europe's most powerful spiritual and political force during the medieval centuries. While Europe struggled through chaos, Islamic civilizations preserved ancient knowledge and achieved remarkable advances in science, medicine, and mathematics. Baghdad became humanity's intellectual center, where forgotten Greek, Persian, and Indian knowledge was translated and expanded by brilliant scholars. From a frozen north came Viking warriors whose raids terrorized Europe and reshaped medieval history through fear, conquest, and exploration. Europe transformed into a feudal society, where kings granted land to nobles while peasants lived under constant hardship and military control. Religious conflict exploded into brutal warfare as Christian crusaders marched toward the Holy Land believing they fought for divine purpose. The Crusades unleashed unimaginable violence upon Jerusalem, where religion and conquest merged into one of history's bloodiest struggles. From the Asian steppes emerged the Mongols, building the largest land empire in history through speed, terror, and military genius. Genghis Khan united scattered tribes into an unstoppable force that conquered civilization from China to Eastern Europe with terrifying efficiency. Then came the plague, a horrifying pandemic that killed millions and shattered the psychological foundations of medieval civilization forever. As death spread across continents, fear consumed society, fueling superstition, religious extremism, and violent persecution against innocent people. Despite chaos and destruction, strong kingdoms slowly emerged, laying the foundations for future nations and centralized royal authority. After centuries of darkness, Europe experienced an intellectual rebirth that revived ancient ideas and challenged traditional systems of power. The medieval world was ending, and humanity stood unknowingly at the edge of exploration, revolution, and unprecedented global transformation. As the medieval era faded, European explorers sailed into dangerous oceans searching for wealth, power, trade routes, and immortality through discovery. In 1492, Christopher Columbus crossed the Atlantic unknowingly, opening a brutal new chapter in global human civilization and conquest. European empires invaded the Americas with devastating consequences, destroying civilizations through warfare, disease, and ruthless colonization. The Aztec and Inca empires collapsed rapidly beneath foreign invasion, internal conflict, and invisible epidemics spreading across continents. Millions of Africans were captured and transported across oceans, fueling empires built upon suffering, exploitation, and unimaginable human cruelty. European powers expanded aggressively across Asia, Africa, and the Americas, reshaping global civilization through trade, violence, and political domination. Human understanding of the universe changed forever as scientists challenged ancient beliefs and uncovered terrifying truths about reality itself. Galileo's discoveries threatened religious authority by proving Earth was not the center of creation as once believed. Philosophers across Europe began questioning monarchy, religion, and tradition, inspiring revolutionary ideas about freedom and human rights. Colonists rebelled against imperial rule, creating a new nation founded upon liberty, while reshaping global political history forever. In France, anger against inequality exploded violently as revolutionaries overthrew monarchy and unleashed years of terror and chaos. Napoleon Bonaparte rose from revolutionary chaos to dominate Europe through military brilliance, ambition, and relentless warfare. Machines transformed civilization permanently, replacing traditional labor with factories, steam engines, and rapidly expanding industrial cities. Industrialization created enormous wealth for some while millions endured dangerous labor, pollution, poverty, and brutal working conditions. By the dawn of the 20th century, humanity had entered an interconnected global age driven by technology, industry, and imperial competition. By the early 20th century, industrial empires competed aggressively for power, unknowingly moving humanity toward unprecedented global destruction and chaos. In 1914, a regional assassination ignited a catastrophic war that consumed entire nations through trenches, gas, and mechanized slaughter. Millions died across Europe and beyond, leaving behind shattered societies traumatized by industrialized violence unlike anything previously witnessed. Economic collapse and political instability created fertile ground for dangerous leaders promising order, nationalism, revenge, and absolute control. Germany fell under Adolf Hitler's dictatorship, transforming rapidly into a militarized state driven by hatred, expansion, and ideological extremism. World War II erupted across continents, becoming humanity's deadliest conflict through genocide, aerial bombing, and total global warfare. Millions of innocent people were systematically murdered during the Holocaust, revealing humanity's terrifying capacity for organized evil and dehumanization. In 1945, humanity unleashed nuclear weapons for the first time, instantly changing civilization's relationship with destruction and survival forever. After World War II, the United States and Soviet Union entered a dangerous ideological struggle threatening global nuclear annihilation. Humanity reached beyond Earth itself as rival superpowers competed to dominate space through science, ambition, and technological innovation. Computers and the internet transformed civilization again, connecting billions while reshaping communication, business, knowledge, and personal identity. Nations became economically interconnected, creating unprecedented prosperity alongside inequality, political tension, and fragile international dependence. Industrial civilization began altering Earth's climate dangerously, forcing humanity to confront consequences created by centuries of expansion and consumption. Human civilization now approaches another turning point as artificial intelligence challenges traditional ideas about work, power, and human existence itself. From primitive survival beside ancient fires to modern digital civilization, humanity's story remains unfinished, uncertain, and endlessly evolving through time.